Welcome back in, guys, episode 40.
Alex, how are you?
Since the last 20 minutes when you asked me, I'm all good, mate. Paul and I are going to take a step aside for this episode, and we are going to hand the reins over to returning host Anna Howard and new host, podcast superfan Chelle Tood-Brown. You've watched every episode, Chelle?
Yeah.
So this is, obviously we'll dive into, well, I say we won't. The guys will dive into what the episode is about, and we'll pick up with you in a second.
You as excited as I am, Julia?
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Right, so we'll jump out now.
Yep, absolutely.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Chelle.
Hello, I'm Anna.
Joined by Anna, yeah, you'll know Anna, obviously. And we're also joined by Julie Cosgrove, who is a menopause coach.
Hi, Julie.
Hi.
So we're going to have a really good conversation today, aren't we, girls? So I'm going to say a little bit about why we're actually going to do this episode. So menopause support is shifting from voluntary to mandatory now.
Yeah.
That's right. With the Employment Rights Bill 2024, it says.
So I think
Google.
it's something major shifts happen next year. Am I correct, Julie? Yeah.
Yeah. The Employment Act. I mean, at the moment it is still voluntary.
Yeah.
And it's only if you've got more than 250
Yes.
employees. It becomes mandatory from April 2027. Again, just from those with 250 employees. So yeah, it's sort of bringing in sort of menopause more into the fore, making sure that employees are supported. But a lot of the actions that you can put in place will also support employees who suffer with PCOS, endometriosis, and PMDD as well.
That's
Which
some
is
of the
really
points
good.
that we were
Yeah, that
wanting
was
to
really
kind
good.
of talk about today, which is great. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So just these cue cards, Chelle has wonderfully written out for me. So I've just quickly been looking through them when we were off camera, when Paul and Alex were recording before. So I apologise if I'm a bit stop-start.
Yeah, my handwriting's not the best either.
Julie, before we dive into things, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what's led you into this kind of, your menopause coaching?
Yeah, sure. So I trained as a nurse sort of back in the mid-80s. In fact, it was my 40th anniversary of starting my training last month, which is really
congrats.
scary. So, yeah, I mean, I did 27 years clinical nursing. I worked in operating theatres, did orthopaedics and then ophthalmics in the UK and then in New Zealand. And then when I came back from New Zealand in 2017, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to get out of nursing, had enough of working with surgeons and anaesthetists. I just wanted a total change and couldn't get a job outside of nursing. So I did PIP assessing for 6 months and then struggled to get through the probation for that, and ended up sort of getting into what I now do as well, which is working within occupational health. Which is where sort of that led me to sort of the menopause side of it. I've also previously I had a stint in about 20 years ago doing a whole range of complementary therapies as well. So I'm still sort of, booting both camps, normal health and sort of alternative. So the menopause, I mean, with regard to the menopause, I didn't know anything. I thought it was hot flushes and no periods. And it was through the occupational health assessments that I actually sort of started on this education about menopause. Because I was talking to an employee who said she was struggling with menopause symptoms. It was an off-the-cuff comment. She hadn't been referred for that. And I was like, thinking to myself, how bad can it be? It's hot flushes and no period. So she mentioned a few symptoms. And I was just was next to my laptop at the time, so I managed to Google sort of menopause symptoms, and it showed that there was 34 symptoms. And I'm like, oh my God, there's 34 symptoms. And she's like, I didn't know that either. So I gave her a bit of sort of general advice and sort of came off the call and thought, that went really well. Yeah. I thought nothing else of it. And then a few weeks later, I had a very similar call. And this sort of made me think, obviously something to this menopause malarkey. I need to go and find some training. And then just struggled to find, I didn't know where to look to get trained to find out a little bit more. And just by chance, our head of clinical sent an email to say this lady, who's called Lauren Chirem from Women of a Certain Stage, runs awareness sessions virtually over 3 lunchtimes, and this is the next stage. So I thought, like, this is meant to be. So I signed up for that and attended the sessions. They were fantastic, and it was during that session that this light bulb went on in my head that I was in perimenopause, and all the symptoms I'd had were hormonal and not me going mad or sort of due to other things and things like that. And that I thought I was in about year 5 of perimenopause by the time I realised I was in perimenopause. So I spoke to, had a chat with Lauren and said, look, I work in occupational health. I've noticed it's becoming an issue. So she sort of laughed at me. And I said, where can I get some training? I said, because I want to know I'm sending the women to the right place to get the help that they need, because GPs aren't routinely trained. It's very hit and miss what support you can get from a GP. So she said, oh, well, I'm starting training menopause champions. So I said, all right, sign me up for that. So I was in the first cohort of her menopause champions, which was great, and then started doing a little bit of awareness.
Title, isn't it?
I know,
Yeah. Started doing some awareness sessions, and then she just contacted me and said, oh, Julie, I'm going to start training menopause coaches. And I'm like, fantastic, that's great. Yep, sign me up. But not a clue what it was. Never heard of a menopause coach, no idea. Signed up for the course, did the course. Now know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
But yes, that's what it, so I sort of fell into it, and I think a lot of people sort of in the menopause world, they've all fallen into it. It's not been sort of something
An
they wanted
active
to do.
choice, yeah.
I think that tends to be the case with a lot of things where you're supporting people with health related issues
100%.
and things, and educating yourself. Sometimes it just comes with circumstance. Like our son's autistic, and when we were going through the diagnosis process, I wanted to know everything about autism. I wanted to understand it in and out, and I think a lot of the time you only educate yourself in that way when it's relevant
Affects
to you.
you directly.
Yeah.
100%.
But our point is that it's good to have a wider understanding of things that are so relevant to what
Many people and many people in the workplace.
50% of people, women in general.
So, a question for you, Julie. Why do you think women's health is so misunderstood at work?
It's not just in work.
Well, in general, yes, of course.
There's been a massive lack of research into women's health. There's not a lot of research on menopause. So if especially when you get down to sort of menopause, they're going through menopause and they've got another underlying condition, for example, MS or whatever. There isn't the research out there. It is coming through very, very slowly. Lack of training from professionals. Women's health is not sort of seen as sort of a priority. Women being ghosted, going to the GP to say they've got this and being told it's normal. So it's a whole mixture of things. And in workplaces were set up for men.
Yeah.
So it's women's health has just never been at the forefront. It's just something they just dealt with. Oh, it's just the hormones.
I'm hoping that's going to change in the coming years, to be honest.
There's definitely a shift.
Yeah,
I think
way more of a shift now than
and
there
more
has been.
more conversations like this. It all helps, doesn't it?
It's really important, I think, to educate people.
And women also not feeling like it's taboo to just talk up is a big thing, isn't it? Themselves feeling comfortable to speak up and
not be told that you're just crazy.
Yeah.
Because you hear that a lot.
I've got on my cue card here about invisible symptoms being harder to validate, to explain to people, to not prove, but people to take you seriously.
Yeah.
With with things that you're dealing with internally, it's not visible, is it?
It's harder sometimes to kind of show, isn't it?
Yeah. Julie, can you give us, we said, you know, like Dummy's Guide to, a dumbed down version of peri and menopause for someone who is
none the wiser.
Yeah, clueless of it. So, a basic explanation.
Okay, so perimenopause is the stage following, you go through puberty, you have your sort of normal cycles. It's when your hormones start to fluctuate as they start to decrease in amount, which is when perimenopause comes on. So you got your main hormones, your estrogen, your progesterone, and your testosterone. During a normal month, during a normal cycle, estrogen sort of has this up and down wave as you go through your cycle.
Which is what gives us our lovely mood shifts.
Yeah, which can lead sort of to PMS and things like that if you're unlucky enough to be like that. But in perimenopause, it's not a nice wave. It fluctuates. It can be like up and down, minute to minute, hour to hour. It changes rapidly, and that's when you get the impact of the symptoms, because estrogen and testosterone don't just work with the uterus. They have receptors all over the body, which is why you get such a wide range of symptoms. And that's, I think, because, and they're not connected to the uterus. So when you go to the GP, if you don't really know what's going on, you just go in, there's something wrong with me, but I don't know what it is. I don't feel like myself. You know, and you're not putting two and two together because you don't know, and the GP's normally not really trained, so they end up giving out antidepressants because they don't know.
Yeah.
I said that
I think
before,
you've
didn't
got
I?
some points to mention about that, like about being misdiagnosed for.
Yeah, I mentioned it before because I don't have a thyroid. I had a thyroidectomy like in 2023, and I've struggled with kind of my hormones and my levothyroxine levels not being right, and that obviously then is an ongoing effect with all my other hormones in my body. And I struggled with the GP for months. It was awful. And then, he asked me a million times, do you want to go on antidepressants? And I was like, well, no. I just want you to treat the root cause of actually what is happening. But I think if, you don't have that knowledge, or I went away and did a lot of research myself, but some people don't have the time to do that. Or, and I used to say to my mum, imagine being a single mum working full time. Like, I couldn't live like that. I couldn't live like it. I just don't think there just isn't enough support going around for anybody in these situations. It's awful.
With menopause, because my generation, we weren't taught about it. No, it wasn't spoken about. Mm-hmm. It was, that time of life.
Yeah, women's stuff.
Stuff. I don't remember anyone when I was sort of, when I first qualified, the older sort of members of staff talking about hot flushes or menopause. I just can't remember anything. I don't remember it sort of when I was in my 40s, hardly anyone mentioning it. I remember a colleague saying to me that one of our other colleagues had a hysterectomy, and they just said, oh, she's going through menopause, so just be gentle with her. And I'm like, right, okay.
It
meant nothing.
I think people have to make small jokes about it, don't they? Oh, she's having a flush. So.
Yeah.
And as though it's not just...
It's very, dismissed.
Yeah.
I think, especially at work, when you say a lot of the time, it's like a male-heavy environment, and a lot of the male figures are in charge. So kind of when things like that happen, I mean, I even had it in my old job when I worked there, and I was going through all of mine was quite hormonal. It was like, oh yeah, he's just, we're all this and we're all that. But
it's not... Women can be very dismissive, especially if they've had a very smooth transition or they've not been through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very bespoke, isn't it? Because not everybody experiences things the same.
No.
What is the usual age for say unusual because I know it can.
Yeah,
I know it can
yeah.
massively fluctuate. For women to be entering into perimenopause.
Normal, sort of late 40s.
Yeah.
Accepted over sort of 45. The average age for going through menopause, which is 1 day, and that's after you've not had a period for 12 consecutive months, in the UK is 51. But it depends on your ethnicity because that changes throughout the world.
I did
But
not know that.
perimenopause can happen at any point following puberty.
Wow.
Really?
It's known as premature ovarian insufficiency. And I've spoken to 2 people, one who thinks she started when she was 13 and was diagnosed at 15, and then a lady who was 18.
And is there any sort of indication, like any indicators for it that maybe women can look for if they think...
Periods are stopping. They're getting very erratic.
Yeah, no routine, no
Or
regularity.
or going through sort of menopause symptoms.
Yeah.
But getting a diagnosis is where the challenge is because GPs aren't trained. A lot of the responses are you're too young to be menopausal. I mean, it's also important that they have blood tests done because, like you said, other hormone interactions, it could be masking, they need thyroid checking, vitamin D, B12, because symptoms can be very similar.
Is the blood test the only for sure way to...
There's a charity called the Daisy Net, people with POI, and they will give advice on how to speak to your GP to get that support if you think you are under 40 and your periods are erratic.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I actually had on here as well, why do women hesitate to speak up, do you think? But I'm guessing it's probably, there's such a big knowledge gap between everybody. It's like you say, it's not just men, not just women, it's like collectively the gap is just, and the GPs don't help. Where do you start?
Fear of being misunderstood is probably, or dismissed is big, isn't it? Let's make it practical. What meaningful workplace support and focus looks like in practice? What flexibility, adjustments, what can things be? We're talking workplace because workplace.
Yeah.
But what can be put in place to support women who are perimenopausal, menopausal?
The first thing is awareness training.
Yeah.
Making sure, I believe managers should, like mandatory training, they should have menopause training made mandatory on a regular basis and not just they do it once and then forget about it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it should be something that's refreshed.
Especially if you're a direct line manager to people. I think that's important.
Yeah. Like lifting and handling and CPR are done as refreshes. I think menopause should do that. I think having awareness training for everybody as well, because then they're able, once you understand what's going on, you're able to better advocate for yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
If an employee goes to a manager, they need to have a conversation, and it's not, adjustments aren't just saying, oh, here, dear, have a fan and go back to work. Because not everybody has hot flushes. They need to have that discussion with that employee. What are they really struggling with?
Yeah.
Any adjustments should be individual, like the person is.
Tailored
it's
to
not
the
just
person.
one size fits all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think
having
that's
that
a lot
training,
of where the issue lies as well, isn't it? It's like a blanket, do that and you'll be fine. And it's like, well, actually that doesn't work for me. So what can we do that makes me feel comfortable? And
Yeah. I mean, reasonable adjustments can be things like, flexible working. If they've got, struggling with sleep, and they're not getting to sleep till 4 o'clock in the morning. Sliding shifts or working from home.
Just small changes can make a big difference.
A huge difference.
To people, can't they? Yeah.
And being able to speak to somebody is a big thing as well, and learning that they're not on their own. So organising socials where you can get together and invite, let the men come.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because,
just opening up the conversation, isn't it? Making it part of the you know, knowing they're not going to be.
Just make it normal.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
It's normal for a lot of people. So I think if you open that up, and I think women need to stop apologising as well, to be honest, because I hear that a lot. I used to do it myself, you know, when I was going through health things, but I always, like, I remember when I came back from, I've just been travelling and I was looking for a job, and I was kind of stressing, thinking like, oh, do I tell people that, you know, because my thyroid's not always perfect. But then I kind of sat with myself and was like, why should I have to apologise or change to try and fit into something where, like, I don't want to work for a company. If you can't look after me, then I don't want to work for you, kind of thing. But I think a lot of people do that. They kind of shut themselves down and like lie a bit and put themselves in this box that it makes them think like, oh yeah, you can work 7 days a week, 24/7, yay, like, come work for us. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's not. I think that definitely needs to change. Yeah, so obviously it's not just menopause, perimenopause. We've got PCOS, endometriosis, PMDD. So it has had a lot more cover in recent years, I guess. I've learned even that endometriosis and stuff, I wasn't really sure what it was, like, I'd say less than 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But why is it, well, I was going to say, why is it so hard to diagnose and kind of put your finger on? But it is, again, just that undereducation, I guess, and the knowledge gap that everybody experiences, because, like, none of it's normalised.
Yeah. I mean, endometriosis, I think the average is 8 years to get a diagnosis.
It's awful, that,
because
isn't
it
it?
is because of the symptoms, they're misdiagnosed with other things, and it's hard, you know. Gynaecologists as well. I did do a bit of research before we came on. I've just got some facts on endometriosis. So it takes on average 8 years, 10 months from the first GP visit to get a diagnosis. Endometriosis costs the UK economy £8.2 billion a year in loss of work and healthcare costs. 10% of women worldwide have endometriosis. The prevalence of endometriosis in women that are infertile is about 30 to 50%. And it's the second most common gynecological condition in the UK.
Wow. The second. What's the first one?
That I don't know. They didn't say. That was from endometriosis.
I was just interested.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be menopause. I don't know. I don't know what the first one is. That's an interesting question. I never thought about that one when I saw it. Yeah.
We'll have to find out.
I mean, endometriosis, again, is like menopause. It's a very individual condition, depending on where the tissue has grown. Some people, you know, it's not too bad. Other people really struggle. If they have the surgery to remove the endometriosis, some people will be fine for years. Other people will start having symptoms again within a few months.
Yeah.
Do you maybe want to touch on a little bit like what endometriosis is and a little bit of the symptoms, just in case anybody watching maybe doesn't know?
So endometrium is the lining of the uterus. And endometriosis is when that tissue from the lining leaves the uterus and starts growing outside the uterus, and it can grow anywhere. It can grow anywhere in the abdominal cavity. I've heard that it can end up in the brain. It can wrap around the bowel. It can affect nerves and things like that. So as your cycle changes through the month and your lining grows, so does that endometriosis that's outside the uterus as well. So they can have very, very severe pain.
Yeah.
Depending on the severity, it may be sort of throughout the month. It may only be for a part of the cycle. But that very sort of heavy periods. It can be really uncomfortable. And then there's adenomyosis, and that's when the endometrium grows in between the muscles of the uterus, which makes their periods really, really painful.
Yeah. Our close friend has the second one you just said, and with the
adenomyosis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adeno. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and she was totally unaware, and only until they were trying for a baby, and baby wasn't, and she was like, I just thought all my pain, all my heavy periods was normal, because it wasn't discussed. She hadn't been, it hadn't been discussed, really. She just was putting up with it.
It's crazy, that, isn't it? It is crazy.
It's only as she went into trying to conceive that she found that out.
Do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, go on, Julie.
No, I was going to say, I mean, I had really, really heavy, painful periods, and I think I probably had adenomyosis. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I went to the GP sort of in my 20s, and they gave me some painkillers that didn't work, so I never went back. I just put up with it. I thought it was normal.
Well, I think the issue is what's been normalised is that women should just like experience pain and they live in pain and that it's normal. But I mean, periods aren't nice and they're not like the best thing to go through, but they're not horrendous. They shouldn't be like painful to the point, where you can't go to work or it's affecting daily life. Like, it's annoying, but if you experience anything more than outside the realm of, oh, that's a bit annoying, like, then I think it's definitely worth checking out or, pushing at the GPs and things, because I think the issue is if you don't advocate for yourself, no one's going to do it for you.
No.
The GPs won't do it for you.
Yeah.
So I think the sad part is that you do have to really push for it on your own, which is a hard thing to do because a lot of people aren't, naturally like that and just go, oh yeah, okay, and then, doctors know everything, GPs know everything, trust them because it's their job, but
no, you're right.
That's my in the bin, isn't it? GP.
Being misunderstood at the docs.
Do you think there's a link between hormone health and burnout at work?
Could well be. Could well be. Because at the end of the day, if you're stressed, your cortisol and adrenaline are sky high. So you're in fight and flight constantly. And when you're in fight and flight, your body closes down or slows down the things that it doesn't need to run away from danger, which is your digestion, your brain function. It's concentrating on your heart and your muscles and your breathing to get you away from the danger. And that, if you're in that chronic state of stress for long periods of time, that can cause sort of, physical health conditions. It can cause kidney issues long term. It can affect your immunity. It can lead to, I think it's osteoporosis and stuff like that. Your nutrition, you could be malnourished because your digestion is not your digestive system's not working, so it's not absorbing the food that you're eating, and you're probably not eating because you're anxious and you feel sick.
It's such like a delicate balance that people don't really think about, is it? It's like, I guess this culture's been built where it's like, oh yeah, work and climb the ladder and get all this money, but it's like actually killing yourself in the process. Like,
can't ignore
just need to go to the beach with a pina colada or something instead. But sorry, go on.
If you're in perimenopause as well, high stress levels will make your symptoms worse.
Yeah. Well, stress.
And it's like a vicious cycle, isn't it? Because then, obviously the more stressed you are, but then like I think a lot of the stress that people experience is the fact that they have to go and speak to people that don't understand. So it just adds to that because they're not only trying to do it with the GP, you've got to think they'll be doing it with friends, family, work, like it's everybody because you feel like the only person in the whole wide world that is experiencing it, but really that's why we have to have conversations like this, I guess. But I've only got a couple more questions left, I think.
Go for it. I think my one's...
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got, if you had to give 2 or 3 priorities to the companies now that are going to have to move to mandatory within 2027,
with terms,
what would they be? What do you think the first couple of priorities should be for women in perimenopause, menopause?
Training, like I say, awareness training.
Yes.
That is a big thing. Have you got a policy? is
having a policy
menopause
in place,
and women's health, is that part of a general policy, or have you got a specific policy? If not, getting a policy, but making sure that what you're putting in, people are actually going to follow. It's all well and good writing it down if no one takes any notice of it.
Yeah.
And starting that conversation and offering support to women. Finding out what they need. Coach, there's
actually
reasonable
speaking to them.
adjustments. Yeah. I mean, and other, besides sort of, offering them fans or sliding shifts or sort of reviewing workloads and things like that, offering coaching. I mean, you've got 1 in 10 women leaving employment because of unsupported, unmanaged menopause symptoms. That's 10%. So if you work out how many sort of normal aged menopausal women you've got in your company, and then work out 10% of those leaving, and the minimum cost of replacing one member of staff is £30,000. How much is it going to cut? How much are you going to have to pay out by not supporting them? When for a fraction of the price, you can put in reasonable adjustments. You could get a menopause coaching to help support them, and then you're saving yourself a fortune.
And I think that makes such a difference.
A lot of people don't understand as well that people, like women, experience these things, don't know all the answers. Like sometimes they don't know, like you say, themselves.
Yeah.
Like, they're experiencing these things and trying to ask for help, but they don't actually know what they're asking for help for because maybe they don't know what's wrong with them. So, having these conversations and educating people, you can go to somebody, oh, well, like, I've experienced this, it could be that. I mean, I've had that at my previous job where I'm quite open about my health and things, and somebody went and got tested and had exactly the same things I did.
Oh, wow.
But they would never have known because it's just not a big talked about thing.
Conversation.
Yeah, it's just
it opens things up, doesn't it?
Talking. So last question. What is one message you'd want every woman to hear right now if you could speak to them, particularly if they're a working woman and they're experiencing symptoms that you think might be linked to menopause, perimenopause? What do you think is the most important thing that they need to know?
If you think you're perimenopausal, keep a track of your symptoms and then go and speak to the GP if you want to go down sort of the HRT route. Do your research, go knowledgeable, and take somebody with you.
Yeah, that's
because you won't
Don't
remember what they say.
Yeah.
If taking someone to an appointment, A, you won't remember what the GP said.
No, yeah.
B, the chances are, if you're perimenopausal, your anxiety's off the charts. You might be getting brain fog. You might be emotional. You probably break down in tears, and they'll just go, here, have some antidepressants, dear. Whereas you've got someone for advocate for you, and going, no, that's not what they want.
That's what can help. Because it's easy just to go, okay, I'll just do that, thanks, bye.
And you listen to what they're saying, but then it was with Jacob, and it used to be at appointments, but he'd be running around, and I'm trying to listen to the doctor. But you always having somebody with it, they'll pick on stuff that you're missing.
Want. No, that's really good points. Thanks, Julie.
But also getting an understanding of what is going on, what is menopause. Once you understand what's going on, you can advocate for yourself.
Is there anywhere online that people, is there a good starting point, help online that you know of? Is there anything that...
There's all sorts of help online.
Literally Google.
It's overwhelming though, isn't it, as well? Like sometimes there's too much and you don't know where to start. So
you want the good advice though, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, British Menopause Society has got a public site website that is Women's Health Concern. They have got a whole load of information leaflets. I think they've got 6. I think there's about 6 just on HRT alone.
Right.
So go to Newsom Health, Dr. Louise Newsom. Her websites are information on them. She does podcasts and there's written information. You can have it, and she's got an amazing app as well that you can download that's free.
We'll pop all this in the
yeah.
description.
Yeah. What else is there? Sort of with sort of work. Newsom Health does advise on sort of reasonable adjustments. Menopause Matters is a magazine, a good magazine that's UK based. I had an article in there in last autumn, which I was really excited about. Yeah, I've got a Facebook group. I sort of run regular lives and things like that.
I was going to say, where can people find? What's the best platform for them to find you on?
Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on sort of link. I do a bit of LinkedIn. I do more sort of Facebook.
Okay.
I am on Instagram, but I'm not very good at doing Instagram. But yeah, I mean, they can find me as Julie Menopause Coach.
Okay.
Wonderful, thank you.
We'll get all
That's
your
really
like
easy.
socials and things,
Yeah, we'll
and then we
put
can
them
pop
all
it,
in
pop it in the description for everybody to find.
Thank you so
But
much.
yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy to talk to people. I offer a 20-minute call if they want to have a chat with me. I don't, although I'm a nurse, I don't prescribe HRT. I'm not. That's way out of my ballpark. I've not been trained. I've no interest in doing that side of it. My coaching is all lifestyle, so it's promoting, prioritizing you, and self-care. And mindset and lifestyle activities.
And that's always a good place to start, isn't it? That's always a good place to start for anything. Before
getting
you
your stress down.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting your stress down. Even if you're on HRT, managing your stress in your lifestyle is the best way to go for everything.
I agree.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, Julie.
It's been really interesting. Actually. I've really enjoyed it.
I feel like I definitely need to be like Googling some of these
I know,
things.
like, oh my God, I need to know.
Yeah. No, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And I'm sure it's been really helpful to other people as well when they watch and listen to the podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
So, great. Thank you very much.
But any other help, just give us a shout.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be in touch. I would say Alex will probably be in touch as well.
Thank you so much.
About how you can maybe help us further and stuff as a business as well.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
Okay, thank
Great.
you
Thank
so
you
much,
so much.
Julie.
Thank you.
Bye,
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you for having me.
No
Thank
worries.
you.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a really interesting
It was.
episode. I really enjoyed
I
that.
feel like I really need to educate myself
I feel
a
like I
little
don't
bit
know
more.
anything now. It's like the more I think about it, the more I learn. I'm just like, oh, I wish I was a man. Go back. No,
never
sorry.
wish that.
Never, ever wish that. Yeah, no. No, being a girl is great.
It is.
We're
And
strong.
I think the conversations, opening the conversations, having the talks, that's the key thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're all going to, go for it.
It's been a fab first episode to join on. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Girls.
we'll see you again, I guess, some point. Yeah, girl power. Let us know if you want more girl power episodes.
And as a person, I'm in Adept head office. Chelle is,
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm round and about.
She is, and we are open and available to talk always.
Yeah, if anybody ever wants to reach out or wants to come and chat to us, I'm sure we'll spend a good few hours. we know how to talk. Yeah, what's better than that? A few bickies.
No, lovely. Thank you. We'll see you, and you'll have Alex and Paul's faces next time.
Unfortunately, unless we could get them like little paper masks so they can put it over, and it's me and you. Might be nicer to look at. Joking.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you later.